this sense of panic is very evident now on the airwaves, right? Especially over at one network in particular, and that would be MSNBC. I think about what one of their hosts was saying this morning, effectively trying to say that somehow if you're a woman, Trump's going to kill you. I mean, like, this is the language they're using, okay? This is the language they're using. By the way, she's referring to the fact that he changed the Supreme Court in such a way that they voted to send the abortion issue back to the states. So it's actually not something that he could have anything to do with, right? Because that's a federal thing now. It goes back to the states. And if you're passionate about the issue, then you're going to go address it on the state level. It somehow has nothing to do with him. And yet here is the host on Morning Joe, married to actually Joe, talking about all this, again, in a super over-the-top, passionate way. I think this is working against them.
Up to dictators, his obsession with Hitler that has now come out, what he has said about our veterans, and what he wants to do with the military against his political adversaries. It's all huge news. This is the future that we're looking at in the next Trump term, if there is one. But this is what voters know right now, that he is killing us. I'm talking about us women. He's killing us. He is putting us at risk. He is making us afraid to have babies. He is putting our reproductive health at risk, and some women have died already because of this. So we can see right now what's coming. These headlines, and very good reporting, by the way, that shouldn't be questioned by idiots about what Trump has said about Hitler, that's incredibly important to know. But I do understand that people who are busy and that are people who are just tapping in may not be able to comprehend, because we've been free. We've been comfortable. We cannot comprehend that. And I understand that. I validate that it is hard to go from here to there. It is where we're going. I hope we don't find out the hard way. But what's happening with women right now is real, and it is playing out across America.
Okay. All right. So a lot of passion there. I mean, I don't know. We could debate whether or not that was more passionate than what she did the other day. And I think she actually started to cry because the new polls had come in, and she's like, I can't believe this. I don't understand this. You know, the problem with these people, honest to God, the problem with these people, I'm telling you, seeing if I can find my inflation graphic for you, is they just don't get it, because they don't have to live with the reality of this. Okay, you see what's on the screen: groceries up 22%, electricity up 31%, rent up 23%. Car insurance up 57%, and gasoline up 38%. They don't understand this, okay? They're living in some kind of la-la land where they're making many, many millions of dollars. And sure, okay, groceries go up 22%. It's not that big a deal. It's something you talk about on a Saturday night with your friends and say, gee, can you believe the price of that? But it's not actually changing their lives. And you see the people in Pennsylvania, the people out in Wisconsin, the people in Michigan, the Teamsters Union that overwhelmingly is not going to vote for Kamala Harris. Guess what? They get this. They get this. They know that they have to change their lifestyles because of the inflationary economy that Kamala Harris has created alongside Joe Biden, alongside, by the way, the Federal Reserve. We're going to talk about money coming up with Michael Saylor. But this is what they've created, okay? So when your life is not as enjoyable because you can't make ends meet, because trust me, wages are not going up as fast as inflation is. You know, Mika can say this all she wants. She can have all kinds of impassioned pleas. Here's another chart. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to everyday folks. She actually, and Joe, once went on the show and tried to argue that, you know, the economy was great. And it's like, okay, the stock market's great. And, you know, maybe we're not hemorrhaging, we're not in a full-blown recession, but trust me, it doesn't feel so good when you're dealing with not having enough money to pay for things that historically you had always been able to pay for. So this kind of drama, I think that people are kind of increasingly getting sick of it. They're like, enough already. And yet you'd think that somehow the left would get the message, but nope, that's not the case. They're just going to ratchet up the volume over and over and over again. Case in point, Hillary Clinton. Today, take a listen to the hysteria coming from Hillary Clinton.
You know, one other thing that you'll see next week, Caitlin, is Trump actually reenacting the Madison Square Garden rally in 1939. I write about this in my book. President Franklin Roosevelt was appalled that neo-Nazis, fascists in America were lining up to essentially pledge their support for the kind of government that they were seeing in Germany. So I don't think we can ignore it. Now,
you don't think it? So, okay, so you get Mika with the women thing. You get Hillary trying to say, okay, Jewish people should be very, very concerned about him because this is who he is. I mean, they're going all in. And you know what? People are over it. People are so freaking sick of it. So I want to show you an excerpt. I think this was Halpern's podcast. Mark Halpern recently going on and doing a little stint here with Pennsylvania voters to get a feel for where they are on all of that.
I can't. I think part of the reason why I'm being pushed towards Trump so strongly is that I find that the Democrats and the left just keep going straight to Hitler all of the time with everything. Like it, and if it's not the left pushing Hitler, it's the right pushing Stalin. So it's like we're fighting World War II every single day for every single election. So it's so exhausting. I think it just it pushes me away from their position, and it's so hyperbolic that it makes it impossible to have good discussions, and I think it ruins the discourse.
Does anybody think it's valuable or something you want to hear from the vice president? Anybody